So today I work on this tagging feature and it is almost completed. I will share the API details with whom I can send Amin or Wells.
Amin.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Okay, should we wait for Amin to get here?
Okay. But Jerry can review meanwhile or what.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see.
See. So Jerry, here I have created this API tagged into photo mutation. Hmm?
Hmm.
Let me here. Inside request, what I'm expecting, requesting user key, group key, message key.
So
Okay.
we I think we want this to be a resolvable property within the get all message.
Hmm.
I think we want this to be a resolvable property inside get all message because this is something that I feel like a photo.
Yeah. So no, no, we are talking first tagging feature, not this get all messages.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. First you will tag action, then I will tell you what it will come. I will that work out that also part. So this when you will going to tag someone. So web request I am expecting. So let's see here. So request should be requesting user key, group key, and message key. And then also there will be tag photo input. This will be the array, and where we are expecting user key, name, phone number, uh, all those things. So when there will be phone number, user key will be null,
Right.
and X position, Y position. So it will be array. So we can tag multiple people.
Yeah.
Okay. And what I did, I will show you ahead. But what will be the response? So instead, after tagging, we just need so success response, or we need to return original message also. That thing I want to ask.
Maybe we could ask Amin what his.
State management purpose I want to know from Amin.
Was that?
So for a state management purpose, like they are casting
State,
doing.
state
Mm.
management.
Mhm.
Okay. Amin is here. You had a question for him on it?
Amin, are you there?
This is for the tagging friends in a photo.
Yeah, I'm here.
So Amin, there is a mutation to tag a user into photo, user or phone number into photo. So tag the photo input. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So request what I'm expecting. We can modify it also. Let's see. So requesting user key, group key, message key. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then there will be the array of tag the users. Like it might be phone number, like a phone number or user key. But we are expecting name also from the app side.
Okay.
Okay. In response, currently I'm returning you. See here. Code success message data, message key, and multimedia content. So multimedia content, you will get tagged user information also as a multimedia content.
Is this like a new thing we're gonna be working on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we've
So
been talking about it a little bit since Friday, Thursday, Friday. Might help to share a design too. When Amit's done sharing a screen, I'll
Okay.
show you the design. But yeah, it's the idea being we have professional photographers taking pictures out in the nightlife, and we have some strategic partners who are they do it themselves. This is like common in nightlife, but they've been willing to just turn it over to us, and they have thousands and thousands of people in their database and their messaging lists, and they post pictures every week on there. They just use a Google Drive, and so it's nothing fancy, and they're just going to change the link to Circles, and so if we just did a little test last week. We found there's a super high scan rate of a QR code after we took photos of people and said, here, scan this and enter your phone number to get your photos. And it was like 19 out of 22 people scanned it and entered their phone number, and almost all of them downloaded the app. So it's a very successful, really high, good results. We could scale that to other places. So the idea here is to actually turbocharge it further, because if you take a photo with your friend, which most people do, maybe only one person added their phone number, but now your friend can tag their friend, enter their phone number, and it's a network effect. So Amit's making it So similar to Instagram, if you long press on an image, you see the names of the people in the image if they've been tagged. So it's kind of like that principle, and allow us to get our users identifying more potential users for us through this.
Okay.
Okay.
Pretty
So this is and the API mutation will be to tag a user. So inside response, do you want the message object also? Original message object? I mean,
I'm not really sure right now. Like when I'm gonna
okay,
start.
okay, no
Yeah.
problem. So let me know. I will modify it later also. I will ping it to you.
Okay.
Okay. So Jerry here about your next question here. So get or group message 1 minute.
Mhm.
Just a minute. Get or group message. Get or group message. Mm, Start with over.
Oh, I remember I was going to have you test, Jerry. Remember yesterday I was like, "Can you test with Todd?" And then I couldn't remember what it was. It's the on Android. He gave you some Android phone numbers, and you were going to see if he got like a spam warning.
Oh yeah, that one. I can send. Let me send it to him right now.
Okay, from the green button.
Yeah.
Invite from there. Okay, cool.
I'll be ready.
Oh, 1 minute. Give me 5 minutes only. I'm just starting server.
Okay, 5 minutes, no problem. Okay. Um. So then, why don't we go to Wells?
Wait,
now?
1 minute. Oh, John, 1 minute. I'm showing something too.
You said 5 minutes. Okay.
No, 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 ready. Yeah. So
Okay. Okay.
showing something to get all
Hey
message.
Todd, that oh, I'm sorry. This actually isn't one of the test numbers. Sorry, these are the people from Okay, glad I saw the wrong list. I'll send it to somebody. I was at the event Friday. Okay.
So, Jerry, you can see here. So inside get all group messages, multimedia content. So where we are tagging users. So I'm returning tag user details also here.
Okay.
Yeah. So there will be multimedia content, then only there will be tagged user. Otherwise, it will be the black. If there will be tag user, it will come. Otherwise, it will come as null.
Okay.
Does that seem good to you, Jerry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. And also, there was a problem Jerry reported to me. One business was permanently closed, but our app was not showing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I found it like we were handling not found and temporarily closed, not the permanently closed. So I handle permanently closed also.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one's probably the most important one.
Yes.
Okay. And remind me, how do we handle it if it's closed? Do we display something on the front end? Do we still show the business? I can't remember.
So we are showing status as closed and open
Oh.
and temporarily closed or permanently closed, right, Jerry? So,
It shows under the hours.
Yes. Okay.
so that PR already merged.
We should test that out. Wells, will you test that out? If a business is temporary close or permanent close, it should say it under the hours.
So and there is a good example what Jerry pinged me, so I will ping him Wells also.
Okay. Yeah, will you send Amit sorry, Amit, send Wells the name? It was Red Rabbit on J Street. There's a restaurant called Red
Yeah.
Rabbit.
Please send me a simple restaurant and the data I should look for in order to know if it is permanently closed or not.
Will we send that, Amit?
Yeah, I'm sending you permanently closed.
Okay, thanks. Um,
Yeah.
okay, and then Jerry, in our case, we were looking at notification to say, would you like to check in or favor this place? So will it be removed from that list as well?
Yes, I could do that.
Okay. Okay, make a note of that. Or if it's quick, we can just knock it out. But that will be kind of important. It would be kind of embarrassing to ask people to check in a place that's closed.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. We're making good progress on this. And it is working too, which is also cool. Okay. What else on it? There was another thing. I had messaged you a couple times now. I keep seeing duplicate friendship cards.
So friendship card. So John, I found it. So it is happening like 2 times something.
You mean like someone follows and unfollows and then follows
Yes.
back?
Yes.
Okay. Um, I thought we put optimistic response, not optimistic response, but well, yeah, optimistic response. So like someone isn't tempted to press it twice or even upload or
We put a buffer. They're like we put like a minute or a minute and a half buffer. It's
is
just
that right? Okay. Is it respecting that minute buffer?
I will tell you the exact time.
from what I found from the cases that you've sent me, John. It is.
I see. Okay.
Mm.
Because I am seeing still back to back cards, but of course they could be after a minute, which is weird. That- Because the natural instinct and flaw would be you press a button, you don't get a reaction, you press it again and then it's already past the data. So now you've doubled up, you press it twice. Um, but obviously that happens in a few seconds. So it's just weird to do it after a minute. And like one of them was Ari. He's on our team. Like, he's one of our top techs at Tech to You. He knows a way around technology.
Have you checked the session replay?
No, I didn't. I could ask him. I figured to start with Amit, see what's happening there. Maybe it's just a simple bug on our end. Um, but I can go to the next step. Well, first, Amit, is it after a minute this happened?
I will give you exact time. Give it some time.
Okay. And is it that so he got followed back, then unfollowed, or one of them unfollowed and followed back again? Is that? I bet it happened on the follow back. Is the follow back? I bet there's think about it. There's a lot of actions taken in this. So our minute buffer may apply to the first half, but maybe not the second half of these actions. If that makes any sense. Because I'm thinking it takes two people to mess this up, potentially. Maybe, I guess we'll have to just see by those button presses and timestamps on them. Let me know on it. While you're looking for that, Wells, why don't we get your update?
Did you say well, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yep. So yesterday I opened a PR. Let me check here.
Okay.
Yeah. So I opened a PR for the Add Friends drawer. Let me share my screen with you so you can actually see that in action.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, wait a second. I'll have to finish onboarding again. Okay, so I will show that in a couple minutes. Then I'm working with Shanto on the logo for the welcome screen. We face some problems and some adjustments and some iterations in order to get that working the best possible.
What kind of problems?
Let me share. Let's see. Might be easier this way.
Essentially, it was just an export issue. We've had issues like that in the past where,
Yeah,
for
export
whatever
issues in
reason,
general.
it's
Mm,
just struggling to go through.
interesting. Like through Slack or email?
No, like even it's with Figma. I've had that issue with Figma in the past of where for whatever reason it's like that. But what's really interesting is that typically when I have those export issues, I can put it into Illustrator and it fixes the problem. Like I can
Hmm.
have that greater control. But I tried that and it didn't work. And I tried working on it in several different ways. Um, so that was
Hmm.
an issue yesterday that we still got to kind of work through. The biggest issue is the tiny little R.
Mhm.
For whatever reason, it's turning out black
That's
instead of
not the
white.
worst. That's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I told him is like I think right now it's fine until we can figure something out because it's so small.
yeah, and the whole thing looks a lot better with our font. So
Yeah.
looks like the emoji was cropped, but looks like you got that taken care of too. Well,
Sorry.
the emoji was cropped on the right hand side, but you stopped sharing your screen. But
Oh.
but yeah, it looks like you fixed it.
Yeah, the heart.
Yeah, looks like
Yeah, that
it's.
was in one of the iterations.
So
Now this is the latest one, so it looks like this.
okay, good. Looks great. Okay, what else did you do?
Okay, so yeah. Besides that, I will actually now start the winner circle.
Okay, good.
Thought it would I would start it yesterday, but I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there is a message you sent right in Slack. Not sure how much proceed on that.
Yeah, which one was that?
There to you.
Yeah, can you change that wording?
Okay,
Okay.
so instead of comment on, just change it to share to.
Yeah, with the 3 dots.
Okay.
Easy.
Yep. And also there is the permanently closed that
Yeah.
we add to the app.
Mm-hmm.
And but I want to show you the interaction with the drawer and in different scenarios because it seems to be pretty polished, I believe. But I don't know. We might catch something there, right?
Okay. It skipped 2 screens.
Yeah,
Stop
it
the
has
one.
been doing that
Wait,
for.
wait. Never mind. What do you mean it's been doing that?
Yeah, it's been doing that for I believe a week.
Okay. That's
Yep.
maybe a serious defect.
I don't know. Might have something to do with permission or something like that because I was messing with that a lot here.
In what way?
Uh, Enabling permission, going somewhere, disabling permissions, and that kind of stuff. I don't even know which permissions are allowed right now
Shouldn't matter.
in the simulator.
It shouldn't matter. It should be smooth regardless of what permissions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what are you on here? Is this iPhone 15 Pro Max?
Yeah, my iPhone 15 Pro Max.
Do you have contacts in your contact book?
Let me see.
It skipped the screen entirely for the cool kid screen, right? Like it was starting to show it and then you didn't press the forward button.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
And it's been doing that for a week.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to have a mean look at that.
Okay, so I have no location and no context access.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but you have limited access to contacts. Go back
Yeah, it is limited, but it has
because you
no
don't have them
context selected.
selected.
Yeah.
Okay. Nevertheless, it shouldn't skip that screen. Um, not like the way it did it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share this phone number with Jerry? I don't know if it's gonna have any hits on suggestions because it's a Brazil phone number, but maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So you're saying you want to see how many people have like contacts.
Well, would there be any suggestions on the cool kids screen? I guess there would be, right? Because there's some that are hard coded.
Right.
So that screen should never get skipped, but it just was skipped, and
Mhm.
it was skipped in a janky way. It was partially. It was about to show.
Yeah, I believe it will happen again if I log out and go there again.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Go ahead and show me what you're going to show me here.
Yeah. So on this screen right here, so you can see, for example, I have Jordan Baldwin, Rodwood Radio, and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So if I come here and I interact,
Mhm.
for example, and I unselect the actually select Ian and that kind of thing.
I still see Ian there. Oh wait, did you? Yeah, you
This-
selected Ian. Okay.
Wait,
Mhm.
this is the wrong branch. So yeah, I will show this later. Let's go to the onboarding.
Okay. Let me have Amin get involved. Amin, did you watch any of his onboarding a minute ago?
No, I did not watch it, but I'm following. It's regarding the screen was skipped.
Yeah, the cool kid screen looked like it was about to play, and then it just it like just skipped past it. He says it's been happening for a week.
Well, yeah, I think since it was about to be shown and skipped, that mean like we did the query and there was nothing there to show. But like you said, there's something hard coded.
Hmm.
Yeah, I see it's coming up empty for me, but is it possible, Wells, that you followed everybody that might have been suggested?
Not sure.
I don't. I bet I'd be willing to bet not.
Also, where's is this your branch? When did you create this branch?
Not sure. I gotta check.
Like, make sure it's up to date with dev.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should start there.
Yeah, perhaps. Let me.
I see the
Stop.
query returning empty. So maybe it's because of the list that's on QA is different from the list in production.
But there were some names that had popped in. Go ahead and you're recording, right, Wells?
Yeah.
There are names that popped in, then
But they were quickly
So
was dismissed. Are you recording?
it should be. Yeah, I am.
Okay, let's go ahead and just go through the steps and let's look at the recording,
Okay.
and then we'll look at the version.
Let me just stop at this one that we didn't see anything and start again.
Good idea.
You can record just with Command S, like it's built in into simulator.
Yeah, I always get embarrassed trying to use that for screen recordings and screenshots.
Okay. I just do Command S and it starts recording for me.
Let me don't allow just like you were before. Then pick some friends. Yeah, and I believe it is after this.
Yeah, there was no names there.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible we followed everybody, but I don't think so because it would have been added right here in a circle of trust.
Not sure.
Yeah, that's how it's designed.
No. Like
Well,
it's designed if a user followed manually, like if he press on the follow button on the
yeah,
file.
yeah, that's true. So, I guess next step then would be how up to date are you in development?
Let me check here.
But still, like the backend returns empty. So
right.
if
Let
we
me-
Oh,
skip,
That's what I'm checking.
okay. Yeah, good point. And then right there, I don't know if you recorded that, but there were suggestions there.
Mhm.
it's very old on like in the like you can see like there's 46 files that needs to be merged.
I
Mm.
think, yeah, I think Wells is following everybody in the list. I'm looking at it right now.
Hmm. Okay. So edge case, very edge.
Mm-hmm.
Watch Wells go. Hit close that hamburger menu. Go to your followers.
Mm,
Go to
Follow. I see.
It's like unfollow Tori. Go to the bottom. Go to the very bottom. Unfollow Tori. Yeah, unfollow Todd. Go up like unfollow Lisa, Chantel.
This should work now. I mean, he should merge those 46 files, right?
Yeah, if they are merged, then he's on the latest now. Do you? Wells?
46 files.
Now you are like on the latest dev.
Yeah, I am with this step.
Okay. Very good.
Okay. That was interesting how it was blue for a second. I think that's new from what you've been doing there, Wells, with the logo. Did you guys catch that? That the welcome
Mm,
screen blue background first?
I didn't catch it.
Yeah, I didn't. We can try that again later.
Yeah, I caught it because, you know, it gets hung up on frames through Google Meet. So like it probably stopped on that frame for a half second for me. But there was a frame or frames with a blue background, then the tropical image. But you guys didn't see it?
Nope.
Interesting.
I saw it. I saw the blue frame.
You did? Okay.
Mhm.
So I suspect that's new because I've never seen it before. And Wells did work on that screen. So I don't know if they maybe introduced something else that we need to be worried about.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it could be because he logged out. That the state the app was in when he was logging out. Maybe we should try a true welcome screen that from a cold start.
That's possible. Okay, yeah. Maybe do that. Not right now, but check it out later. See if it still does that. Okay, so what are we doing? I think we confirmed there's no bugs with the onboarding right now. What else were we demonstrating here?
Yeah, so we wanna go there again and see if now that I unfollowed some people, there are gonna be some people for me to see on that screen.
Sure.
And yeah, perhaps we got a one of the phone bugs. So on this I cannot proceed.
Hmm.
This is one of the scenarios in where I actually have
Well,
to go.
either when it cancel, that's like what's canceled there? It's just like closed by user. Okay. Oh, this is not. No, okay. Closed by user. This is weird. It says like a user canceled. Did you cancel anything? Like you did a.
I saw you pressed the back button.
Oh, so I think there's some issue with the Firebase library here. If a user cancel once, it's gonna be nagging him every time.
Well, we did find a bug. Why did you press the back button, Wells? Was there already a problem to begin with? You needed to go back?
Right now,
Just a minute ago, I saw you press the back button.
yeah, I press the back button
Not
because
not not this back, like the back on the captcha. Not
the back capture.
Hmm.
that's the back, the
Yeah,
meaning.
there was an error there.
Hmm.
Like the captcha was not loading for you.
Yeah.
What do you think, Amin?
The captcha's not loading. Like what do you, did you saw like the model where they ask you to do the captcha and everything, or
Yeah, for the first time I got that, and then there was an error, and then
where
now every time I try proceeding it, it shows me this error.
captcha error? Okay, like I never saw this. Like
I've heard this happen exclusively on a local dev environment.
yeah, because like, we don't control captcha. Like it's all Google. Like it's
Mhm.
all that sends the captcha. So if it's failed to load, it's Google failing to load the captcha. Like close the app and open it. Now you are in a weird state.
Okay.
it thinks like
Could it be potentially triggered by a user if, let's say, they background the app and come back at the wrong time?
not. Give me a second. Let me look into this. Oh,
Mhm.
you need maybe to yeah, you need to do a yarn install. So there's some noises. You need to close the app, do some yarn install, and reload the app.
Okay. Ainda não. Estou compartilhando a tela.
Não, só preciso clicar na opção. Tem como você pôr isso aqui para lá, você tá? Deu uma. Você só tinha uma calça, sei lá, você tem um café e você passa aqui no frio. Se você for falar onde você tá,
Sim, sim.
você acha que você falou?
Demora algumas horinhas.
Vou ver se ele vai dar uma roda de saída. A gente tem que tentar lá.
Do we want to maybe come back to Wells when he gets this sorted? How long does the yarn install take? I mean,
It should be installed already.
okay. Okay. I mean, was there more to show? I know you wanted to show the drawer, which you were kind of demonstrating there, but then it was giving you some trouble because you removed. I saw you removed Ian, but he didn't
Yeah,
get removed.
I have a screen recording on that.
Okay. Okay. Well, play with it a little more, and then we'll come back to you when you're ready to
Yeah.
demonstrate again.
But basically, whatever I interacted with would actually
Well, it was there was supposed to
Sure.
like add and remove, but I saw
Yeah.
that one user didn't get removed when he thought he would.
Yep.
The check mark didn't get removed at least. Okay. Well, yeah, work on that a little more, and
Well, this is the like you said, like this captcha was not loading for you. Like, no, don't do anything. It's just,
Yep. It was not loading. I believe it loaded, but then there was some error, and then
like here,
I got
error
to that.
here, like in this place.
Hmm.
That's a yes.
What do you mean? What's the
You,
question?
you said like they were on error, like here in this screen.
Yeah. So I'm not sure because I don't remember, but I
'Cause,
could see the captcha for the first time, and then something wrong happened, and then I got into that state.
yeah, because like if this screen is not loading up, it's not like you can see the URL Circles QA Firebase app. Like this is all Google. That's the captcha and everything. So if the captcha failed to load, I think it's Google built that once, but I'm not really sure. But let's see if it's gonna happen to you again.
you think it will happen again?
Also, this captcha thing, it's only for simulators, and we
Yeah,
don't get, like in production. We don't get captcha.
yeah, almost never. I mean, once in a while, but almost never in production. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So perhaps want to see the blue screen, John, while we try to log out.
That's okay. Go ahead and do that on your time, and then let me know what you come up with. It's at the very, very beginning, before the tropicals picture with the
Okay.
rainbow.
Okay.
It would be there, and then find out why the check marks weren't getting removed when you're unchecking people and whatnot, and then let me know. We'll take a look, and you can move on to the winner circle.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, thanks, Wills.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Okay, so I mean, let's get your update.
Yeah. Yesterday I worked on I always forget it. It's oh yeah, the trusted like user can leave now empty trusted. That's fixed. Also worked on the issues with the chicken, not the chicken, but sorry for searching for places to chicken. That list has some multiple issues. One of them is like the location. Sometimes the location that was passed is wrong because we were depending on some old, not up to date user location. And there was also an issue with sometimes it re-renders by itself. and that was fixed. And
I'm so glad you fixed all that because a lot of people go to that button first, or like one of the first buttons they press is considering moving that button. But people are, I don't know why, they're exploring the app for the first time. And so having defects there is, it's annoying. It's also a bad look. So
mm,
um, I'm, I'm glad you caught that. It sounds like we were getting the wrong location for the user. So
yeah,
that,
he will we're not like giving a wrong user location, but we're like more of like we get the location once and we save it, and
mm,
we reuse that location when the user navigate to that screen, and maybe at that time that location it's not up to date or it's
oh,
not really
right.
active.
Because yeah, it could be a day later.
Yeah.
So
If
what
the
do you
app
do?
is open, if the app was open, like if the user
Mm,
has the app open for a day, then that's yeah.
right, which I do all the time. So
Mm.
how do you handle that now?
We're not gonna be like whenever the user gonna go to that screen, we're gonna fetch the live not live location, but we're gonna fetch the current location.
Current location. Okay. Okay. Wells worked a little bit on that screen, I believe, because there's a modal that pops up if the user has no location permission allowed. There was a modal popping up that says Circles is a map-based app. We need your location.
I saw that. Yeah, that's still there. If I
Okay. That would be like a death spiral. Like you can't get out of that screen. But I know Wells worked on that. So I don't know if that's been merged. Wells, did you recall working on the nav bar check-in button for the if a user did not allow location service?
Navbar checking button. Those are doesn't allow permission.
Yeah,
Uh,
remember there was like a loop that got user couldn't get out.
yeah. So on the check-in, I couldn't get into a loop where the user couldn't get out. I could get it on the spotlight navigation.
Probably I mean, he probably didn't have the problem because we had a location from when they onboarded me, right? Is that is that possible? Well, no, I guess if they don't allow permission, we don't get a. I don't know. What is it? Do we get a location of some kind when they onboard? I mean,
yeah, when they onboard, we get the location. Yeah.
even if they deny the permission, though.
No, if they deny, like we don't get the location, they deny.
I thought,
We-
thought that was like another more general way we got it, like Wi-Fi or.
But that's how we report the location back when it's not the one that we rely on.
Mm,
And also,
okay.
like, we don't get the location from a Wi-Fi. The backend uses the IP address to I guess the location of the IP address could not
Okay.
be accurate.
So if you turn off your location and you go to that check-in button, do you get stuck in a loop?
Let me try it right now and see.
Okay, I'm gonna try it also in build 40. Changing to never. Okay, I'm not stuck in a loop. So so Wells must have fixed it.
Yeah, there's like an X button on that model.
Yeah, there always was, but it didn't work until recently.
Yeah, no, it's working. Yeah, I can see it's working.
Okay, cool. Okay. Just want to make sure no one gets stuck there since you made changes to that screen. Cool. Okay, so now we'll get the location every time. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, we get the updated location for a user there.
Cool. Okay. Okay, great. What else?
Yeah, also like if a user press on the name, it will be navigated to the profile. Also, I worked on the pagination of the discover groups at the top of the lobby.
Okay.
Yeah, now they can be paginated. Yeah.
The
Hmm.
bit.
Oh, guys can hear me?
Okay, I can hear you. Maybe I cut out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so the pagination on the pinned conversations.
Yep.
Oh, okay, great. Oh yeah, let me hold that thought for 1 sec. Jerry, did we figure out why the Maggot Army chat didn't show up on Todd's phone yesterday?
Yeah, there was no IP address. No lat long that was being provided.
Why was that?
The front end wasn't sending it.
Okay, can we get to the bottom of that? That doesn't sound right. It's not. It's odd. You allowed your location permission, right, on your test phone?
Yeah, of course. Yep.
I sent it to Amin yesterday.
Yeah, I saw it.
Hmm.
I'll need to look into it and see if I can produce it. See,
Is it everybody, or just Android, or just Todd?
or maybe it's only like when. I mean, if it's just. It said like
Jerry can
it,
help with some of that. Like Jerry, did you get my location when I onboarded?
Let's see. That's when did you onboard?
I don't know. I onboard a lot. I'm just more as like hypothetically. Like,
I
just,
don't.
I mean,
It's not that easy to find in Century.
I mean, is it an issue with my phone, or is it an issue with my account that I was using, or
that we don't know. It could be. I mean, it sounds like potentially the front end was
Okay.
not getting the Latin long, but I suspect, Jerry, that we get the location for all. Like, we've had hundreds of downloads the last couple of days. Did we not get anybody's location?
It's for that particular query. So we get the location that we save in a database, but this location that it's used to call the query. Actually, I just opened up Century and I found one that was missing it for a user.
That's right. It's that particular query.
Is this a new user? Who's this? 53003.
What do you think? I mean, are you able to test that query on your emulator, see if there's a problem?
I mean, it always passes the location for me, but
But
I
there's a
yeah,
particular query.
yeah, cover groups, yeah.
Yeah, why don't we like skip the query if we don't have well, we can't skip the query if we don't have location. We could like skip the query if we have location permissions and we're waiting for a location, maybe.
In other words, we don't need to ask for it twice.
No, not quite. It's the query is getting called because there's no location. So what
Well,
we can do, go ahead, I mean,
yeah, like we call the location, we call the query regardless of the location.
yeah. So it looks like it's being called when the user has location allowed, but okay, let me check this user here. Yeah, this is a newer user, not brand new, but did they allow location permissions? Let me see. No, they did not allow location permissions, so that's why there's a
That explains that one. But Todd did allow the permission. So that means other people are experiencing the same thing.
I could assume I would say it's very plausible that very likely that it is happening to other users,
Right.
but I can't tell you who and I can't tell you why. I could just basically like pick a random query and see what happened.
Well, can you do you have a way to tell like all the queries that we made to that discover group and see the variables? Like if the location is undefined.
Right. I can't filter to see how many are undefined,
Okay.
but I can just like click in one and see. Yeah, I can click in one and see. And I can see like, okay, 41204, that one does not have a location. And who's this user? Location, conversation. This is Maggot Army. Well, this person was, oh, they're in the Maggot Army group. Who's this user key? Josh Rogerson. Well, no, Josh Rogerson did not have a location in his latest query, and he has, what kind of phone? He has Mint Mobile, Android.
Was the permission granted?
He's one of those active users. I'm pretty sure he has permissions, but I can't.
Right. You'd have to. He would have been. It'd have been unusable with that loop.
Yeah, but he's pretty active in the app, so
So similar situation with Todd. So
Mhm.
so that query's failing for some reason to grab the location. Is that the only place it matters? You're Jerry, you're saying you don't see a location for that user, but what about
from that query. So whenever you call the
Yeah.
query, you have to give it a location.
so just that query? Everything else working as expected?
Yeah, because like the front end that passes the queries, not the back end. The front end that passes the location to the back end. It's not the back end. So
Okay. Okay. So
y-
I guess where I'm going with this is minimal damage here, right?
yeah, yeah. If the location missing,
We
well,
just don't show some groups
yeah, we're
stats.
not gonna. Yep, and it's gonna be only affecting this query.
Okay, so it's minimal damage, but it would be nice to get it to work. So do you have it as your on your list? I mean, to look into.
Yeah, I can only answer it. See
Okay.
what's
Okay. Okay. Cool. It's crazy how many little things. I mean, I wouldn't have even noticed that if I didn't watch Todd's screen recording. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, where's that boots at? I wish we had some type of unit test or something that told us up front stuff like this.
Literally, literally somebody's dedicated job is making this kind of test.
I know. I know. In the meantime, it's kind of all of us QAing. So,
Mhm.
I mean, we're pretty good. I would say we do a really good job
Mhm.
catching everything. You know, it's apps in incredible shape. I mean, the feedback has been tremendous. It's everybody that is using it is. I've been hearing words like obsessed, and I don't use TikTok anymore. I don't use Facebook anymore. I just use Circles. Like I'm talking lots and lots of people are
I'm
saying,
I'm gonna give you a little spoiler. When we met with Apple, they were pretty
okay,
happy. They were they were a little impressed.
really?
Yep.
Okay, that's fantastic. So, like, maybe on the road to being a featured app.
Let's finish up, but yeah, I mean, Danny can chime in, but they were like, yeah, they had a couple things, but overall, they were like, yeah, I see the purpose for it.
That's awesome. That we should get that quoted. Cool. Yeah, I look forward to hearing more about that.
Real
Okay.
quick, I ran through. I did a factory reset on the phone, doing some testing with Jerry on phone numbers and spam and whatnot. By the way, I'm not getting numbers or texts as spam, so I don't know what's going on there.
The number.
But
So you're saying the invites you got were fine.
they're fine, no problem. They weren't
No
even
spam.
identified as spam. They didn't go to spam folder by default.
Right.
They came right in.
Interesting.
And
Of
then
course.
during onboarding, I went through onboarding again on this phone to see if I'd get a location again, but I see if Maggot Army chat shows up, but it still doesn't show up.
Yeah,
Even,
that hasn't been addressed yet.
but I mean, is that going to be consistent? Like every time this person onboards with this
Yeah,
phone?
the,
I see.
I think the query is not getting a location when it's supposed to there.
I see. I'm sorry. Okay,
Anything else?
that's it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get that fixed today later on.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you. So yeah, go ahead. I mean, you had some more.
No, that's all the changes I work on today.
Oh, okay. So did you leave off with there was one other defect. Um First of all, everything you just mentioned, that's all done, right?
Yeah, that's all done. Yeah.
Okay. Has it been merged?
No.
Oh wait, oh yeah, I remember the defect. Okay, so remember the share the love screen was interrupting the start the convo screen. Was that part of the fix?
No, I did not work on that.
Okay, that one was a weird one. Remember that one? It's in our conversations.
Can see.
It was an edge case somewhat, but not necessarily. Like it probably will happen often because
Oh yeah, I remember it. Oh yeah, I remember it. The video. Yeah, no, I did not work on this one.
okay, yeah, that's the one where I got the notification that you bring people together but I had just onboarded, which will happen. People will onboard and then do friend connect. Um, so yeah, maybe let's maybe take a look at that one next. If remember, I think you had you figured where you would look, like where you had
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I remember our whole
Okay,
conversation.
okay, cool. Um, and then do you need a PR review?
Well, the way how I was doing it is like when I don't merge PRs from the first time. Like I create a PR, then we do builds, and when everything is stable, I can merge the PR.
Okay. So you want to do a build later?
Yeah, once we do the builds and everything is good, then the PR will be merged.
Okay, great. Um, do you want to look at the stuff we were talking about earlier with the tagging friends? Do you want to see any designs or do you want to wait?
Well, there's the still the new screen. People find the screen designs.
There is that too.
Yeah,
Uh,
so
just want to know if we want to give Amit any direction for tomorrow in the meantime.
I mean, yeah, we can go through it and see about like I will need to start work on it to see if, like what's missing, what's all you need,
Okay, we can hold off. So that's not a problem. Okay, then maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. And um there's the people finder screen, and then I think that was after that, the tag and the friends would be the most valuable. So okay, well, let me know when you have a build, a QA build too, and we can test out
Okay,
all that stuff and we'll go from there.
yeah, sure.
All right. Thanks, Amin. Okay, so Amit, you said you looked into the
Yeah.
friendship card.
Yes.
What was your finding there?
So here it is. From database we are getting time difference is only 34 seconds.
34 seconds. So that's not respecting the 1 minute buffer. Why?
James, you can see it here.
So if you look at this and it says, is it the PAL friend? Is it the PAL card?
Yes, Paul.
So let's see. So if Ari and Jade, okay,
Mhm.
why is it 30 seconds apart? Oh, I think we do have the friend card.
That's what I was thinking, is like probably half of it we have covered.
The friend card, but maybe not the PAL card. Okay.
You can see here 193301. Next one is 193335
Yeah,
and 34 second.
let me take a note of this.
But still, what happened within those 34 seconds? Was it one user doing everything, or was it both users doing something in 34 seconds?
I think one user unfollow and follow again.
Unfollowed and followed again, I see.
Mm.
Okay. Within 34 seconds, huh?
34 second.
Okay. Interesting. Is there a more fail-safe way to visually show these cards? Like, I mean, in a practical sense, we should just show one friendship card. Like, there should never be two back to back.
Yeah, but
So,
when you start doing this grouping on the query side, what you really want is you really want the data to be right the first time,
mhm,
where it doesn't create a duplicate card. Because I mean, I even took a good look at this yesterday. Actually, the feed.
okay.
I made some improvements on the feed query too, but it's not as good as where it should be.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's a lot better than what it was the day before.
Okay.
Things. It's really that discover feed. I can go on a full tangent on that, but
Give me a synopsis. What kind of improvements did you make?
I took some filtering out from one of the internal queries and I wrapped it on the outside. And what that did is instead of having to apply one of the joins on every card, it was pretty much a join optimization, which
I see.
reduced our query cost by, was it 25%? Yeah, it was pretty nice.
That's excellent. So that basically just brings everything up faster.
Yes. But
Cool.
still, a lot of it has to do with like how we're pulling for our Discover feed and
Mm.
how we're pretty much taking from everybody right now.
Mm.
Um,
So that's maybe not scalable to millions of people.
well, in a way, I actually have a solution I wanted to try to see if it would work. Is if we could cap the Discover feed at only going back like 7 days, we could we could build like a special index that only pulls the queries from only pulls the records from the past 7 days, and that would be lightning fast because now when we run this query, we're pulling all of the feed cards that have ever been created, and then we're
Like
like,
all
or
preloaded.
what's that?
That'll all be like preloaded.
Would it be preloaded? It's just right now you got a million cards to sort from,
Mm.
and you're like taking the last 10, which kind of sounds easy, but not really in the database because it wants to be sure of of a couple things.
Huh.
I'm almost thinking that if we take this Discover feed and we make what they have called a hot index, and we do it only to where this index captures the last 7 days of activity. Because and this would only be for the Discover feed.
Let me ask you a question then. So if I scroll past 7 days, am I at the end or does it fetch again?
So if you go, that's the thing. You would be at the end if you go past 7 days.
Hmm.
Really have to, you'd really have to be looking.
Yeah, I guess there is a lot of activity.
All right.
Hmm. Um,
If I go, let me just do a little searching. Because now Discover it's everybody. Think about that. It's
yeah,
everybody. We're pulling all the users. That was another thing I had to optimize was like how we're pulling the users,
right.
going from everybody. But we're
Which we might not stick with that for very long. It's just kind of a
Mhm,
short-term solution to make sure everything's active for everyone.
mhm. Yeah,
Um, I
down.
want a bit more logic, like because obviously I don't want to show restaurant check-ins to people across the country.
Mhm,
You know, just for now, we're mostly over here in the West Coast, so kind of works.
mhm.
But yeah, okay. What about? I mean, isn't there a different solution where you can go by the date, like date range? So,
Yeah, well, that's what we're doing is we're sorting by the date.
okay.
But
So why does it have to pull everything ever? Like sort through. I should say, why does it sort through all of? Because that's what I thought I heard you say. Like basically, it's sorting through every Discover feed card ever to just pull up the first pagination.
well, it's how we pull this index. That's what it all comes to is this index is supposed to be like a tiny bit of information that 99% of users will do. Um,
Mhm.
Maybe we could have it to where we could use the full slower query. I could see if we could use the full slower query automatically once we get outside that time range.
Hmm.
But
I see. So you would start with your solution with 7 days and then go to the old one.
yeah,
Hmm. That's not a bad idea
I
because that would be the majority of cases would be covered.
I don't know how easy that would be to implement.
I feel
Um,
like there's still like a better way though.
but okay, we're even if I go past like 14 days, that would be fine.
Yeah.
If you see where I'm going, is if it's a smaller subset of data. Because you know how far you would have to scroll to get the 14 days.
Yeah. Let me ask another question to make sure I get it. So if I'm understanding this, the longer Circles is in use by more people, the bigger this problem becomes.
Yes.
Right. Okay. That's a problem. Okay. So we got to solve that no matter what. Because like eventually it'll be unbearable.
Mhm.
So, okay. So hmm, what's the standard practice? I mean, we're not the only ones with a feed.
What would be for algorithm? I mean, for the algorithm things, you definitely are going to be prioritizing. You're going to give special storage to like special high speed access to your recent post.
It makes sense.
Makes
So
sense.
why do we get stuck sorting through all of them? Can't you have like the last 7 days being one chunk and then the next 7 days another subset? Like, can't that be stored in the database that way?
Mm, if we do the pagination, because like, okay, if you look at it on like a Facebook scale,
Mhm.
that's like, Facebook is getting tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of posts every second.
Right.
So even so, if they store the past like 2 hours of post in a hot cache
Yeah, they're not doing that.
content for days for 2
Well, and
days.
they're cherry picking based on the user anyway. Like, so they must have buckets. Like, that's the only way that could work. So they have buckets for this user and buckets for this user, and probably profiles they have determined, like almost like an FBI profile. Like, this person wants to see this content.
Mhm. And like how the Discover feed was really fast in the beginning of Circles
Yeah,
because of the bucket that it pulled from was very small. It was just who you were following.
true.
And
Yeah.
now we're like opening the floodgates.
Yeah, I see.
That's another thing, and that's almost why I was suggesting we have separate tabs for following and then like Discover, like a true.
Well, I mean, I would like to get more intelligent with what we show because, like, people with similar interests may find value in seeing someone else's favorited a same book as someone, for instance, um, like in other words, longer term strategy. I want to be architected
Mhm.
to support that. You know,
That big algorithm stuff, it only works really good when you have a lot of data. You have probably,
we're getting there. I mean,
yeah, we're getting there, but if we started to segment people and we started to create certain niches.
we could start with the simplest one, like everyone over 30, everyone under 30. You know,
Mhm.
and that's probably and maybe 35, 40. I don't know what the cutoff would be, but I'm sure there's probably optimization we can do
And
within just those two demographics.
yeah, and we could do that, but now when you look at it, is we are halving the content that we'll show.
Which
One
is
of the
good,
things
right?
that we had, the reason that we opened the floodgates in the beginning was, oh, the Discover feed looks dead. What we don't want to do is we don't want to segment somebody right now, and it's like, oh, well, dang, yeah, we don't have 40-year-olds going to club events, so everybody under 40s checking into the club, having a great time on the weekend, but everybody in their 40s and 50s are maybe out with their kids or something.
But wouldn't it, and this is a hypothetical scenario, but wouldn't it reduce that overhead by splitting it in half? Isn't that now?
Absolutely. No, it would absolutely make it
Oh,
faster. But the
okay.
big but is you're removing data from the pool. You're removing data from the pool that it was going to show. So we're making the Discover feed look less populated if we do that.
Yeah, but I mean, we haven't even decided where we may
Mm-hmm.
trend, and I mean, compared to where it was, it's significantly more populated. So, I mean, there's a lot of leeway.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what my strategy would be to have the option of segmenting in this way, so that way, as we do grow, we now have flexibility,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a win-win because it reduces that overhead.
I don't know by how much because we're just doing like under 40, over 40.
Well, that was totally hypothetical. It could be completely different set of rules.
Yeah. Yeah. As you segment it, it would it would limit
Yeah,
it would limit that number. Um, I'm just
but that's just one approach. The other one that makes the most sense to me is based on timestamps because that's a natural segmentation. Like, everything today is different than everything yesterday.
Mhm.
So why not segment in that way?
Well, that's kind of what I was planning on doing with this hot index on
Oh,
timestamp. It was
okay.
just the thing is that it would have to like resort back to its other way after, you know,
Is
once
that the only solution, or can it do exactly what you want to do um, in segmented time frames? Like, so instead of resorting back, it just does it all over again with the newer, improved model, but for the next time period.
I would have to dig into it more. I started looking into that in particular this morning. I
Okay.
don't you don't want to have too many indexes though. That's the thing too.
Mm,
And
okay.
there's such thing called over indexing because
Mm,
that's going to increase like disk usage on your database. That's going to increase memory storage if it's a memory index. So you don't want to over index.
mm.
There's a min maxing that you could do.
Okay. Well, sounds like you're exploring in the right area
No,
to
it's
improve.
it's explorable for sure. I mean, I'm just poking at it. I'm trying to make not too drastic changes.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Don't rush into anything. Just
yeah,
it's
with
not we're not in crisis mode. So
right. With I'm gonna monitor just the what it looked like today
okay,
and see what it looked and compare it to what it was like yesterday.
okay,
And if everything's good and in a perfect world, hopefully it's 25% faster.
right,
And
right. Okay.
yeah, if it's 25% faster, then we're in a good position.
True. Yep. But ultimately, we will be faced with a dilemma. So we might as well start that path now, thinking about how to
Yep.
handle it.
Yep.
Okay.
It's in mind and like the database kind of helps me out and tells me what in particular takes a lot of time. And that's where I was saying, well, it's because we have so much data. It was like if it recommended like segmenting them out. And
Hmm.
when I asked Claude, it was kind of recommending the same thing as well for a use case.
Hmm.
But I didn't go as far as to, okay, well, what happens after 7 days? If they go further than 7 days deep, what do we do? But
Right.
as far as like going deeper than 7 days, though, like who would do like I'm going to say like
Yeah.
I'm saying like less than a single number of people would go that far.
Probably. And how many cards is it roughly? Like, is it 1,000? Is it 10,000
Wait, how many cards are in the feed?
in a 7-day window?
7 day window. Let's see if I can. So right now, total for a user, I see 45,000 cards.
In 7 days?
That's for me. No. That's for everybody.
Oh, total. Okay.
So let me do. Uh, let's go through. Yeah, this query is going to take a little while to run, but we'll see.
I got a side question. I think we have a rule on check-ins. Do only your friends see a check-in card? Like, not I can't just follow someone and see them check in, right?
Wait, on the Discover feed?
Yeah, or activity feed.
Oh,
I know for sure on the Discover feed, I don't see check-ins from people I don't know.
you can see. Well, on the Discover feed, right. But on like a target profile, you can see their activity if you're not following them. If you go on a user's profile, you can see their check-ins. For example, I'm not following Tevin Tyler.
Uh-huh.
I went to his profile and under his activity feed, I see his check-ins.
Hmm. Okay. I wonder if we should change that because I want to encourage people not to be shy about it, and also, well, I guess I mean if you're an influencer and you want to check into something, I mean that's the other apps show it. All right, I'll think more about it. So you were looking up that number.
Yeah, actually, it just finished 1,500 for me.
Okay. Yeah, it would take some scrolling.
Yeah, so we do, I think we page like 20 or 30 at a time. So that's like 50 pages.
Right, right. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I would probably limit it quite a bit, but then we still have to handle the case for the other, for when it doesn't happen. Or things could slow down and there could be less cards one week, like maybe Thanksgiving week or something. Maybe there's a lot less activity, It's hard to say. We'll look into it more.
Mhm.
See what we can come up with. What else do you have going on?
So you want to know about our meeting with Apple?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was they were really helpful. They actually like used the app before the meeting, so they were familiar with the concept and all right when we got in there.
Awesome.
So yeah, Danny was in there with me. Danny gave him a little pitch. He's like, what do you want? You're like, what do you want to know? Danny asked, well, how do we get featured? And they kind of laugh. You're like, oh, that's an original question. Sarcastic. Oh, that's an original.
Everyone asks the same thing.
Yeah. But you're like, well, we're the people you would talk to for that, though.
Okay. That's a good start.
Yeah. Let me grab my notes.
That's a great start. That's the game changer if it happens.
Yeah. So they were really quick to jump on one thing that she said that as far as like user growth and growth factors, she was like, she said, I'm not looking at, she's like, I don't know any numbers on your app, but you probably have a good drop off during your onboarding. And,
Probably. Why did she say probably?
And that's what we follow with. Okay, well, what makes you think that?
Yeah.
Said, I feel your onboarding is a little bit too much, like a little too big. And we're like, well, what do you mean? She said, well, we recommend she's like, ideally, 5 or 6 screens for an onboarding. She said some of the things like location and name, or not name, but location, name, date of birth. She's like, those are some things that could, this way a user. And like, a lot of the feedback I've heard from people in the past when it comes to onboarding is they do get off put at the birthday screen. They're like, oh, why does that want my birthday? And I understand we have our reasons that we ask for birthday.
Birthday screen.
Like, yeah.
Okay. Huh.
I know some people that are like, oh, what are you doing on my birthday?
Telling your friend when it's your birthday.
Well, I've seen a lot of apps what they do is they take your birthday like after you're in the app for a while. It's like, and it's like some rewards programs are like, oh, enter your birthday for a birthday surprise, but they don't ask it up front.
I don't think we've really ever seen a drop off on that screen.
Yeah, but a lot of times it's people just enter whatever to get past it.
Perhaps. I mean, I've watched, probably 1,000 session replays by now, and I see the dates are unique. Like they're not the easy buttons to push. Like they're so I don't know. I'm not seeing a problem there. I mean, don't forget, like we modeled this off of other mega apps.
Right. I mean, Danny was telling me it's basically, there are some other apps that was like very close to. You said like Zen.
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly. So I always like laugh a little bit when they because people always have that opinion, and then they're like, well, okay, well, I guess let's argue with the apps that got bought out for hundreds of millions of dollars. So, okay, so what else did you say?
Yeah, so that was their only thing. Like she was like, oh, when I'm in the app, it's it's pretty good. But she was like, something that I would like to see, she said, is an experience for the user without having to sign in.
Yeah, we would love that. Like all web based basically, but it's
Not
like
in the app. It has to be. Well, it would have to be in the app. Some experience, a preview of the user. Danny said something about maybe a group or something
yeah.
that the user can experience without having to like even start onboarding.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that makes sense, especially if you're invited into a group.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know where to start with that. Like technically, like where would we even let's say okay, so let's say Zane invites somebody in a Neverboard Club.
Mhm.
We want to skip onboarding entirely for now. Um, don't we isn't like everything architected off of onboarding, like user ID and location and like everything we rely on?
We could expose. I mean, if we were to do this, we could expose like a public set of APIs that would only be able to access things that are truly public. But you
How,
know,
how would that work?
I mean,
Since like we can like I'm sorry, like we don't need to expose APIs to make them public since we're using Firebase. There's like an anonymous authentication where you don't need phone number or anything. It's just like I don't know how it works, but I will assume it's calculate something based on the device and make that as your ID or like a token, so we can send back. So that register mutation instead of like sending in in that register mutation instead of sending a phone number, we send that token instead. Yeah, this is just for the authentication, and later on we can upgrade if a user decided to sign up, create an account. We can upgrade that token from an anonymous to like a phone number authenticated user. Well, it's. I mean, yeah, theoretically, that's how it is, but there will be some considerations to take and to look after to just to not lose any users in middle of all of that.
So it's if we did an anonymous login with Firebase and we got a token of some kind, can that be used to trace them through? Like if they downloaded the app in the future, like we would know. I guess they'd have to enter their phone number while logged in with the anonymous token, right?
right, and that links them. That would associate them, but an
Mhm.
anonymous token would reset whenever you delete the app.
Yep.
Okay. Which okay, that doesn't hurt anything really. But um okay, so if I invited someone into the chat, am I going to get credit for it?
You know, maybe we're thinking a little too far. What I think Apple is trying to say is for your users that organic discovery from the App Store. Like nobody's asking them to download the app.
Hmm,
You see this app, it looks cool. They come in.
hmm.
What's the first thing they would see that this is what Circles is?
Could we like limit? I wouldn't want them just jumping into a chat and saying crazy stuff. Like,
Oh,
could we,
right.
you know, we could, I suppose, let it be like read only.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yep.
So
I mean, let's just say, at a high level, you could make it read only now as far as the navigation stack and having to like have it redirect to onboarding from there. I would probably let a mean answer on that.
I mean, yeah, like we need to find a way to identify those kind of users so we can keep them in the chat stack. For example, they cannot like go anywhere beside that.
well, that'd be easy to identify because we could segment them from if they discovered it through the App Store, for instance, or even further than that. I have some App Store ads running. We could identify them by if they clicked on one of the ads, so we know they're not like really connected with Circles. They found us through discovery. Um,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm inclined to follow their lead just because I want them to. I want to be agreeable. I want them to be on our side. So
Mhm.
um, I don't know. if it would really translate to like better metrics. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But if it means they are more cooperative with us being featured and stuff like that, is that the vibe you're getting? Like if she's like, if you make these changes, you might be featured.
Oh, there's a couple other things. The main things they were like is like the new user experience has a big way, has a big thing. I know you're big on like grabbing the people within 45 seconds.
Mhm.
They were like more or less, how can we grab the user without having them sign in? Because like we ask for a lot of information that they say some users might get that they might be pretty sensitive over, and it might cause them to abandon onboarding.
Yeah, I mean, we're still up there in percentages, like
Mhm.
as far as totally acceptable, even good percentages of conversions. So yeah, I mean, and it's like, and the ones that opt out, we don't want them anyway. They're not going to be
Mhm.
engaging. They're going to be
Mhm.
lurkers and just not real. So it's like the engagement is through the roof right now because we are connecting people. They are sharing some of their network and things like that, and then our matching is getting better and better every day. So it's like the value for us is just far exceeds like catering to that 10%. I mean, but anyway, let's continue with that thought experiment because that what you're saying now is still kind of similar to what you're saying before. Is like still back on that same concept of let's get them in faster. Okay, so what else?
Uh, that's pretty much all they had to say in the app. Or she's like, yeah, the app works best when you have a location. That's going to be on the user to determine. But she's like, there's entertainment categories. And all like they were able to go through the app. Like, they didn't have any other things to really say complain about.
That's awesome. Okay,
Once they
um,
were in the app, they're like, it's good.
that's that's incredible.
Mhm.
I
Uh,
mean, they see a lot of apps,
mhm. Yeah.
and I'm sure they have very high standards.
Mhm. Yeah, they didn't have any remarks on like design or anything. I mean, we were talking to just marketing people, but um, from their standpoint, they didn't have much to comment on. Now the rest,
We're the ones who said we're the ones you need to talk to about getting featured. So that's a high level of authority,
Mhm.
right? What were you going to say?
I don't think they're like the head people. They were both on the board. One was, I think, they were in two different countries.
But they contribute to that decision.
Yes, they said it's mostly a manual job on getting
I've
like.
heard that. Right. So there's a little bit of politics. That's why I want to play politics. And if they think we need to do this and that, we should probably do this and that.
Mhm. So
Um,
they gave us some really good tips on what we can do now without code changes. They
Okay.
said to really like improve your app store page. So they said events. First of all, what they're going to do right now is like if you're asking to get uh, featured, the big thing you're going to ask, and ask this a few times. They're like, right now, are you US first or are you global? And
well, we're global, kind of.
that's what they're like. Well, how much of a physical presence do you have outside the U.S.?
Yeah, and I've read that too. They want you to be international, which we are, as long as people speak English, which is a big portion of the world. Even countries that it's not their first language, like Amit was saying, India,
Mhm.
80% speak English. So we are absolutely international. Was that good enough for her?
No, I mean U.S. first is like that's good because that's when they build their list of curation, they
Uh-huh.
want to know. Like
They want us to be US first?
I think if with what our current state of the app is, like our current user base, I
Mhm.
think they were more or less pushing us to declare ourselves as U.S. first.
Oh, that's different than what I've read. That's interesting. How
That
do you
that's
feel
what I
that?
got. You could check Danny on that. Because what they were saying is, don't be afraid to basically toot your own horn. That they have a feature nomination section in the App Store. That when you have a massive feature update, you can actually like nominate yourself to be featured, but you have to give them a pretty good write up. Give them, why is this important?
I
And
got a great one, which is we reinvented chat with patent pending on custom topics.
Mhm.
I think that's pretty remarkable. And not only that, it's now been proven in the wild. Users are jumping in every day and totally get it. Like,
and that's something that we can build a write up on. They're like, you could. They said
that could do it right there. Yeah, because I mean,
don't be afraid.
stand out.
They're like, well, they're like, don't be afraid to do it like every big update. Like they were like, just keep doing it until something sticks.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, they were like, don't be shy. Like keep.
So we should nominate ourselves every update.
Every like substantial update, maybe not a bug fix update, but
Sure. Okay, I see. Interesting. But what about this declaring ourselves US first?
yeah. So whenever it comes to like the curation, because what they're going to want to do is they would want to say feature you. They'll feature you in the US App Store if they were to feature, and it's just like where the best quality experience is going to be. They're like, yes, because we told them we have users in Canada, we have users in India, but they're like, what percentage of your user base is in which country?
I see.
And we're like, well, 99% of our users are, probably in the US. So like, well, for this current iteration, you'd probably want to declare yourself as US first.
How do we do that?
I think that's whenever you do the nomination.
Okay.
And a big thing they said too was events. Because we told them that Danny's like, we're doing local events. He won't not say local events. We're doing events in Sacramento area. We got, DJs and all involved. They're like, and you're like, and this is like in the app, like you can like the like being involved in this in-person event is directly involved with being in the app. We're like, well, yeah, that's how you RSVP. And they're like, put that on the app store. They're like, put that on the app store.
Huh.
That
Okay.
goes a long way.
Interesting. As far as getting downloads or as far as being featured or both?
Both. Because what happens if there's events and like Apple is like, oh, this is, they can see the event, then they can start to push it when it gets closer, like, oh, attend this exclusive event by having a Sircles app.
Okay.
So event, that's another thing that it said. And the last thing, which I think we're kind of aware of this, were the pictures, the screenshots that they were doing that we did on the App Store listing.
Mm-hmm.
So they said that in their opinion, the screenshots we had on the listing did not display the product enough.
Interesting.
And I mean, for example, if you look at the very first screenshot, the very first two screenshots we have, it's like the welcome page, and it's just an empty screen with our logo on it. Like there's no elements or anything on it. But then if you keep going, you'll see like Dale's profile, you'll see the map. But what they really want to see, and I went over this with Danny after, is they want screenshots. You can have commentary on the screenshot. You can decorate it. I think an app that Danny said that he liked was Tinder. And you'll notice that for all these, I went through and I picked some of the top 100 apps on the App Store just to see like, what do they mean? And a lot of them actually use like just straight on screenshots. So something that you won't see in most of these apps is they're like augmenting the screenshot in a way. Like for example, we're doing it and we're putting the phone in a frame where like the phone might be tilted inwards or something. It's at an off angle. Most of these top apps, they actually just do mostly a straight on shot of the phone. And they're like, we want the product to be the focus of the screenshot.
Mm-hmm. They prefer that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you go through the top like 100 apps and you see how their screenshots are laid out,
yeah,
that would be the very good guideline.
Does she recommend that we do a video?
Yes. They said video. Yeah. Video helps. I don't even think they watched a video that we did send them, but they said a video would be great.
Okay. What were they saying about the welcome screen? Are they talking about in app or just in the app store?
What do you mean about
The
like?
welcome screen doesn't like describe the app. Is that where you mentioned they said that when you first see it in the app store, or are they talking about actually in the app?
When you first get in the app, like maybe there's what I've seen some apps do is like there's almost like a video that plays on your welcome screen.
Oh, definitely. I want that. We tried to hire somebody that is really, really awesome, but
It's
they
not it's
want.
just like an ambient video. Sorry to cut you off.
It's okay. It's a what video?
I mean, just kind of like an ambient video. I'm trying to remember of an app that did that. It's
Yeah, Zenly had that. They had a video right at the beginning, and it
Mhm,
was excellent. Like top quality.
mhm,
Yeah. I agree. Well, I mean, the video I sent you is kind of like that's the idea there.
mhm.
Shows how the app works. So,
It's
I'll,
not.
I'll get something.
Yeah. I don't even think it has to be heavy like on the app usage. It's just like people like almost like some of the footage that we could use, like maybe from these events, of people like using the app at the events, just
Right.
in the background.
Yeah, and we have some really cool drone footage.
Mhm.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
do some of that. There's definitely I can make it really cool.
I've seen it on Instagram. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, stuff like that. Okay. Um, so then what do we need to do to like can we continue talking to them as much as we want, or like what's our connection?
No, I mean I got their names. We could probably hunt them on LinkedIn, but
But I mean, like, how do we say, hey, we made those changes you suggested? Um,
they said is to go through the feature the feature nomination process.
feature nomination process. Okay. Huh, okay. And then do other people vote? Is that what goes on?
Yeah, it's there's a committee,
Oh, okay, but not the public.
right?
Ah, okay,
There's an internal committee at Apple that decides who gets featured.
I see. Okay, what other feedback?
Let me go through the list. Um, let's see, couple minor things. They said that we don't have to include spaces and our keywords. We can remove the spaces. We might have enough room for another keyword if we remove all the spaces. He said, other than that, our keywords look pretty good.
That's good.
He wouldn't change anything.
Okay.
Did ask why we use entertainment as a category and not social media.
Yeah, I didn't want to be in mixed with the biggest companies in the world. You know.
And once Danny explained like where we're at, like as far as we also have like entertainment features, like the check-in and favorite like media, he
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay, I understand.
Cool. Cool. So they didn't suggest any changes there.
Nope.
Okay. Wow. So we're in the high statistical conformity here.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like I think they're kind of like where you stand, John. That the app is really good and people just have to find out about it.
Right. Right. We are in a great spot then. Yeah, just have to start scaling our sales teams and marketing campaigns, promotional events, all that stuff. And I think we'll get some exponential growth as that happens.
Mhm.
It's a lot of work. I gotta still make sure we get some of these features in, like this tagging users and photos. It's a nice network effect and a growth hack.
Mhm.
Little things like that. Making sure, of course, our friend connect has to work as planned. You know, even if people don't share their contacts, we still have good suggestions now, and
Mhm.
I've seen that working really really well. Yeah, our engagement has just grown tremendously. User growth is growing, but maybe even more important is the retention and engagement because we can pay for downloads, but they're not very valuable if they don't retain. But because our user base is being retained, I feel like that's a way stronger position for success than anything because that's the hardest thing is get your users to stay put and start forming the habits using you as a part of their daily routine, and we're seeing that.
Mhm.
So,
I mean, we got all that out of them in 20 minutes.
that's cool. Well, they probably say this 20 times a day.
So
um, so the streamlined onboarding, it's not necessarily, it's not even onboarding really. So it's like maybe an anonymous onboarding.
almost like a sneak peek. Like, what if we almost like timed them? What if we like gave them 5 minutes or something?
Right. Put them in chats with read only.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just have to look into like how do we convert them over after that. And does it still follow some of the stuff we want it to, like would the invitor get credit at that point? Maybe I suppose they would, because the phone number came from our end, and then if they enter their phone number, that should track. Yeah. I'm thinking about something here. With campaign links, we send. We don't know the phone number it's sent to. That's the problem, because it's a SMS module. I was like, why don't we know? Because we don't know who got sent to. That's the problem. Okay. But if we have some kind of landing page in the app where they enter a phone number, that's different. Well, wait. We could do that. Like if I'm inviting somebody, the problem is you just can't copy and paste it into the SMS. So they have to enter the phone number twice. Yeah. But yeah, it's different if they came in through the side door, took a little sneak peek tour, decide they want the app, enter their phone number, and we still wouldn't know. No, we would know who invited. No, we wouldn't know who invited them. Wait, if we invite them to a chat, they'd still have to enter their phone number. Maybe in the web view. Okay, so let's say Zane invited somebody to the Neverboard Club, generating a link within that chat. Send it to somebody who clicks the link. We give them a sneak peek, but we still could put them on a landing page where it's like enter your phone number so Zane gets credit. Like, so we'd still have the one step, right? And then anytime in the future, if that user does onboard, credit's given. That would work, right?
Yeah. Oh well, we do an extra part when we do the onboarding is that we want to make sure that they click that go now, like that. There's that button that takes them to the app store.
True.
We don't count the invite if they don't click that button.
True. If they enter their phone number, we don't capture it at that point.
We have their phone number, but we don't mark the invite as like valid until.
But if they gave us the phone number,
So the reason I think for this is so somebody doesn't go mass enter everybody's phone number.
yeah, we had a blocker for that too, though. I can't remember what it was, but we had a way to limit that.
That's true.
But considering if we have that covered, then we could still just have someone enter their phone number, get the sneak peek. Does that still fall in line with the guidelines they're suggesting? I think they were saying don't even have to enter a phone number. Was that what they were suggesting?
Yeah, like without signing in.
Not signing in, yeah. But then there's the Firebase anonymous. Go ahead, Chantal.
I was gonna say we have like part of it capable because I know that you can share a profile and it can do a link and someone could do a web view from there. It's not, at last I saw, it's not pretty, but I know we at least started that process.
Yeah. That's just a web-based. I think Apple wants us to get them in the app.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it could be Okay.
Yeah, which is an option. I mean, we'll get there eventually. Have like a full web-based version, but from Apple's point of view, that they all they care about is like what's going on with our apps and our app store, which makes sense. So, well, we should look into that a little bit more. There's probably something there. I think there's definitely value in giving people a light version, sneak peek, try and get pique their interest a little more.
Mhm.
So yeah, let me think about that more. Let's check in with Amit, let him get going. And Jerry, did we figure out the whole 1 minute buffer on those friendship cards? Do you have any questions for Amit, or Amit, you have any questions for Jerry?
No,
It-
no, I don't.
Yeah, that's just something I'll have to address.
Okay, so it's not a simple just changing the number.
I need to look at it. It would be all database though.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't need anything from Amit on it?
No.
Okay. Okay, make a note then. And
Jerry, one pull request is pending from yesterday.
You have a pull request pending? Oh, I had a comment on one.
Oh, you have added comment? I did not see it.
Yeah. The comment's still there.
GitHub is not loading for me. I don't know.
Oh, it says pending. Oh, good old GitHub did not. Try now. Sorry. The comment was there. It was just in a pending state. It's easy.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 hours ago you added, no? Yeah, I will make those.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Amit. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay. Take it easy. All right. Well, I love hearing that we're getting seal of approval from Apple. That's a huge vote of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
The hugest.
Mhm.
I mean, those changes they're suggesting are kind of minor, simple. So that's really cool. All right. Interested in looking into that a little more. So giving me some things to think about. In the meantime, let's see what do you have going on now, Jerry?
I need to work on that mixed encryption. I got through a rabbit hole yesterday afternoon with the optimization for the feed for the Discover feed, but I'm gonna spend too much more time on that at least. So
Okay.
just taking apart the group,
Doing
undoing.
that optimization for the Discover feed that's already in production now.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay, what were you gonna say?
Other than that, just I was going to work on like removing the encryption on the public groups. That way we can have those serviceable. AI did add the purge button, so in the meantime, right now you can purge messages from a specific user.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's helpful. Okay, great. Okay, very good. Well, I'm gonna head down to the office here. Todd, are you available to meet down there? I think Ari's leaving town day after tomorrow. I want to catch him. Or actually, no, I think he's leaving town tomorrow. Todd, are you there? Hello? I'll message Todd. Chantel, did you get the he said he'll be right back. Chantel, did you get the designs done for those tagging photos and or get started?
Yeah. So I got started on it, and I have two options on how to go about once you click on. Well, actually, okay, I've got three. So I have three that I'm like, I feel very confident that we can go with, and then three options for going to search to tag someone. Because one option I'm doing a variant of the search people screen, And the other one, I'm doing a variant of when you go to message someone in a group chat, how that looks. On one quote search bar, I have the search bar that we have also in chat. The other one, I have it where it's the little tag icon that we have when you go to check in. You have that little one and it says the little one on the positivity point. So that was another option just to keep it like consistent and obvious with the like avatar and tagging people in a photo. So that was the third option.
Okay. You want to send those to me? Okay. And then, oh yeah, I wanted to talk to you about the some of the strategy plans you had. A couple questions on that doc.
Sure.
One sec. Let me get it. So let's see here. I see the part about cutting some of the rad videos with Steve suggested cuts. Maybe also podcasts. Did we? I thought we already did some of that. Like DNA isn't? Aren't they already running some ads based on that?
Not based off of Steve's thing. I've brought it up every week, and they're like, yeah, that's a great idea. And then we
Brought it
have
up
the
to
next meeting, and then it's like they didn't do it again.
You brought it up
And
to DNA.
We
yeah,
have a meeting with him today. Which one are you talking about?
Steve's like the time frame things, and then what we had for captions. I brought it up for a month. They're like, all right, we'll have it to you at the next meeting. And then the next meeting, they haven't had it. And like every time I'm like, hey, I've been bringing this up for a month. And they're like, oh, where is it? And I was like, it's here. It's several people have been tagged in it and slacked on it. And
So
then
okay, so what
the-
ads are they running? They're running ads that have nothing to do with.
No, they went back to the highest performing ones from the last campaign, and I think it's actually working.
They're doing okay. Like
I want to sign up, but
it's nothing, overwhelming.
no. But from it was like from nothing to working.
Or maybe the ones we suggested up front would have been working well.
Yeah, maybe.
We put the time in.
Yeah,
So
we can run. We could still run those. We were meeting with them at 3 today, so it's easy conversation.
Are there ads already? Because just having the raw footage doesn't mean we can run the ads. Have ads been generated based on the footage?
We will find out today.
Chantel, you're saying no, they haven't, right?
not based off of what I provided them with the specific direction. They've taken clips from Rad and stuff like that and made their own thing. But that was separate from what I provided them based off of Steve's notes.
Okay. Okay.
We can make sure they get one up with Steve's notes.
There could be dozens. There's just lots and lots of content.
Yeah, I mean, like 24 hours, really.
Right.
Like
we could, we just need 30-second or less clips, right?
Yeah.
So,
and he did go through and do a bunch of those.
Right. That's like 2 months ago, right?
Yeah, and like I said, every time I'm like, hey, what about this? It's been, a month. What's
Okay,
going
Danny, can
on?
you maybe turn up the heat here? Follow up on this. Were you aware that they were ignoring this?
No, I'll push them today though.
Okay, please do.
I did approve them running our best ones this last time around. I was like, hey, we've gone away from the
that's just the easy way out for them. That's like
No, I know.
yeah,
I
let's
wanted
grab ones we already made and do the most minimal work. And then, okay, thank you. Can you pay us now? Like that.
Yeah, they had gone away from some of our anti-Yelp messaging, and I wanted some anti-Yelp ads running.
Yeah,
So, but I agree, we can
and,
get
and that's fine.
get
But
these
I
new ones up.
want to get what I'm paying for.
Agreed. Me too.
Okay. Okay, Chantel. So we got a couple emails. Um, we can talk about that more. I like these ideas. The texts. Um, Forgot. I had a question around that. I just don't remember now.
Oh, it was probably about the like the poll response thing. Did you
Maybe.
under that? Okay, yeah. So that's because we want to try to increase our score so we don't look so we can get whitelisted instead of blacklisted, right?
Yeah.
Because they want to see replies, and
That's,
that's a way to get a reply outside of stop.
that's a great idea. Okay. So will you put some
And
content?
it's something that we don't have to reply back to, you know? It's
Right.
not like I gotta send a whole message once they reply.
True. Okay. Yeah. We put together some content, some little short messages around some of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I did like this one. 7,000 people have already invested in Circles. To be honest, who's in already? Who's going to regret not doing it there? I can't remember. I had a question about that.
Todd, are you around right now?
He stepped away.
I gotta jump. I gotta jump on with Nico and Miho. I want Todd on it with me.
I'm back. What's up?
You want to jump on with me and Nico and Miho here for a minute?
Yeah, what time?
Right, 11:30. I put you on the invite link.
Is
Okay,
Zane,
cool, yeah.
is Zane on that call?
I'm gonna make sure he's on it. Yes.
Okay. I want to know what happened with the Sunday event. You know, it's his idea. It was a good idea. He was excited about it to leave song requests. Have you looked at that chat?
Yeah, I have.
And it was underwhelming.
I
It was actually kind of hijacked by a couple idiots. So I would like to know. I'd like to know a lot of things. I think Nico could have probably mitigated that by communicating a little better. I don't, obviously we don't know what he's saying live. I know what he's saying in the chat, which wasn't great.
Yeah.
He was like kind of rude. He was like out of profile. Like he wasn't even like, "Hi, welcome." Like there was nothing, no warmth at all.
Yeah, I know. I read it all.
Yeah. So he let it get hijacked and then was kind of a jerk about it. But again, I don't know what he was saying live, but whatever he was doing did not result in a very good experience. And I want to know why.
Yeah.
This is his idea.
Yeah.
Like he wants to do this. Like he doesn't have to do it. Like he's kind of going above and beyond to do it. So that's a good thing. It's not like we're saying, "Hey, can you do this for us?" And he's like, "Okay, fine." He
came up with it on his own. I know. I get it.
right. So
have you heard from Ari at all?
no. I don't know.
No.
Did he respond to my text?
I tried to call him a minute ago. It went straight to voicemail though. I was gonna bring him on too.
You should. No, I just heard back from Ian. He has to leave by 1:45. Well, either way, I would like to get together. Ari's leaving tomorrow, so I want to catch up with him before he heads out of town, and all of us. So yeah, I guess I would like to be on that call with Nico, but I think you can handle it. Just make sure you take a deep dive on this.
Well, yeah, Zane actually. The reason Zane wants me on it is he wants me to be kind of hard on Nico. He feels like Nico's not really listening to him.
Yeah, and Zane was telling me that yesterday, and I don't know their conversations, but I was face to face with Nico the other day. And my read is that he does want to do a good job. He is excited about the project. He suggested this idea that's out of the box. It's no one else requires him to do it. He went and did. He just did. I don't think he knows what he's doing. I have a different read, and I don't think Zane being harsh is necessarily going to get the results we want. I feel like he just needs some better direction. I might be wrong. He might just be half-assing it, trying to get paid, and he's not going to be valuable. That might be the case. But I was with him in the room. That is not the read I got. I got the read that he wants to do a good job. He got some good ideas, and there's a lot of potential.
Yeah.
So we just got to get him excited. And he probably is excited. He's probably less excited now, right? It's a little discouraging, I think, probably. But rather than be hard on him, I'd rather encourage him.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm
Okay,
gonna take a consultative approach. What was your expectation? What was your plan? We'll get there.
Good. Yeah. Because we can, by the way, last part of this before you call, we can do things to support him. So maybe we've learned something. One person might make 20 song requests because they're acting like an idiot. So maybe we limit how many texts can be sent by one person within 20 minutes in that topic. Maybe, he doesn't know that we can do that. So what I want him to walk away with is knowing we got his back and we can support him in this, and whatever is broken we'll fix with his help.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, piece of cake.
Okay, cool. Let me know how it goes.
Okay.
Cool. I'll see you guys down at the office soon.
All right.
Okay. See you
Later.
See you later.
Bye.
Okay, bye. All right. I'm gonna head down there. Amin, will you Amin just drop. Fine, everyone drop. I will catch up with you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.